The battered but proud people of the Empire State. From the financial and entertainment epicenter of New York City to the sleeping and empty small cities and towns of upstate, which once bustled with manufacturing, mining, and farming. We all know from inspiration, history, and nature, we deserve a return to the success and growth of generations past, a birthright being squandered by corruption in Albany, and the depredations of an insecure, scheming mountebank posing as governor, who loathes both us and himself. As liberty beckoned to enslaved peoples behind the Iron Curtain via American broadcasts after World War II, we now say, believe, rise, and join us. Welcome to Radio Free New York.
Hey everyone, it's Kevin Wilson, your host for today. Welcome to Radio Free New York. Thanks everyone listening out there on WYSL, where we're broadcasting live until 1 p.m. and of course on Facebook, on YouTube, and the rebroadcast on WENY and WACK. And I am joined today by the infamous Sean Phelan, Agent of Chaos. Sean, welcome back.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, living the dream, Sean, living the dream. Yep. So no, we're still all hunkering down, doing our thing, and trying to provide you with some truth and interesting commentary here on Radio Free New York. And we have a few different topics to discuss today. But what I want to start out with is something that Tony and I talked a little bit about yesterday, but it's something that's kind of bugging me about mostly progressives, really, but also a little bit on the other side too. And it's with Governor Cuomo's mask order, right? So Governor Cuomo issued this executive order to require everyone to wear a mask in situations where, and it's quote, social distancing isn't possible, right? So what he means, but just to be clear on what that means, it means like if you're in a grocery store where you're going to be close to people, if you're in public transportation like a bus or a subway, you're supposed to wear a mask, or any other situation. Allegedly, it doesn't apply to a situation like where you're out walking your dog and you may kind of, you come close to someone on a sidewalk, but in that situation, you should be able to get around. But it does apply if you're on like a busy downtown street in an urban area like down in the city. And we've gotten like two weird responses to it. One is from usually conservatives, sometimes libertarians, and I'll use that term loosely. And it's a type of people who are saying, well, because the governor says we have to do this, I'm not going to do this now. Guys,
sounds like me.
Yeah, I know. I did think of you. I hope you're not doing that. And my take on that is wearing a mask. It may do a little tiny bit to protect you, depending on what type of mask you're wearing. If you're wearing a thin single layer cloth mask, it's basically doing nothing. If you're wearing a multi-layer heavy cotton or flannel mask, especially if you can put a filter in it, it does a little bit more than nothing. Filters out some of it, but not a lot. It's not going to totally protect you. But the big thing that wearing a cloth mask does do is it prevents your spittle from getting all over the place. You're just shooting out less water particles that people are going to be able to breathe in and get sick from. So it does do something to help people. It's not like masks are totally useless. It's probably still a good idea to wear one. To protect yourself a tiny bit, maybe, depending on what kind of mask you're using, and to protect others a lot more, right? And it helps if more people do it. And people are already doing it. When I've gone to Wegmans and I've gone to Aldi and I've gone out to other places, probably about half of people are wearing masks, depending on when I go. And I expect that would have continued to go up a little bit too. So I don't agree with the conservatives who are like, oh man, like now that the governor's saying this, we're not going to do that. Sean, are you gonna defy that? Is that what you're gonna do?
Well, I'm just my philosophy is I'm going to use my masks the same as Cuomo or Trump uses the Constitution.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Yeah, just totally ignore it. All right, yeah, that's your right to do that.
It's fake news.
It's fake news.
Fake news, yeah. So Trump, it's fake news.
What? I don't know what you're saying is fake news.
Trump says it's fake news. It's fake news.
Maybe. I don't think
See, anything bad that happens on Trump's watch is fake news. So this is all fake news.
Just fake news for you. All right, yeah. I mean,
that's
you can certainly dive into that perspective. I'll let you run down that rabbit hole. Go for it,
please! If I actually took that stance as a Trump supporter does like that, then just take me out and shoot me, please.
Oh goodness. See, Sean, this is how we get in trouble, bud. This is why you're on your show. You keep me on my toes. You keep stuff interesting. But I want to talk about the other side of that, right?
All complaints and comments go to.
Yeah, right. 585.
Yeah, might as well give it out now.
Yeah. No. You can give us a call. Again, we're live here. This is the Friday show. We're live noon to 1. If you're listening to rebroadcast, you can always send us an email, contact@radiofreenewyork.com. But if you're listening to the live show here on WYSL, you can give us a call at 585-346-3000. So you can always do that, and we'd love to talk to you and hear what you have to say, and hear your comments about what Sean's thinking.
Do you know who's been really quiet about this whole thing is the Surgeon General.
The Surgeon General's out doing stuff. He had a mask video. He originally said don't wear masks, and now he's saying do wear masks, and that's what's getting people confused and upset. Mm-hmm. Which is understandable because it's hard to trust the government when they're giving conflicting messaging, right?
Yeah, when orders come down from the Fuhrer, you got to make sure you get them right.
Oh boy. Anywho, the thing that I wanted to actually talk about, right, is I want to talk about the mask order in part because what frustrates me about the other side of this argument is it goes to an opposite extreme that we don't need to go to, and that's just like, well, if you and it's funny coming from progressives, but they're like, well, this isn't really being enforced all that much, but if you don't want the police to go after you, then don't break the law. Which is something you usually hear from usually more kind of a Republican conservative crowd, but it's all the progressives now who are defending Cuomo being like, well, don't break the law then if you don't want the government to go after you. Everyone should wear a mask. It's for all of our safety, blah, blah, blah. And to me, I'm like, okay, listen, it's a good idea to wear a mask. You should probably wear a mask. It helps protect yourself and others. But at the same time, how far are you willing to go to enforce it? Because as you and I have talked about, we've talked about it on this show before, is every law that you have is a threat to carry out violence if you disobey that law. And sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes when, someone commits a murder or is threatening to commit a murder, using state violence to stop that person or to capture that person who has committed a serious misdeed is totally justified. I don't know that type of force is justified in someone who is not wearing a mask. Because they might not be wearing a mask for a number of reasons. They might not be wearing a mask because, it restricts their breathing too much, and that's a problem for them. There's legit medical reasons, and there's supposed to be an exemption for that in the law, but, police officers on the ground, if they were to actually enforce it, wouldn't know that. There's exemptions, you're not supposed to put it on children, but other people, maybe they don't know about the order because they're not paying attention to stuff. Maybe they just don't have a mask. They don't know where to get one, whatever, Do you want to bring financial hardship and violence on people who are disobeying this order to wear a mask in public? And my answer is no. But the answer from a lot of progressives, interestingly enough, is heck yeah. Yeah, we'll bring violence and financial hardship on people. Or they'll tell me oh, that wouldn't happen. I'm like, man, this is how laws work. Anytime you make a law, it invites that type of situation. And it can hurt the marginal communities that you're worried about and you're always virtue signaling about. That's what that does. So I'm not going on and saying Cuomo's totally wrong in the intention of this. But again, if he's going to have a law, it's either a law or not a law. He's saying that oh, it's not going to be enforced or, we're going to be lightly enforced. But no, this tool's out there. It can be used against someone. There's a video of someone in Philadelphia being dragged off a bus because he wasn't wearing a mask. Sean, did you see that video yet?
I did not see that video, but I did hear about the mayor of a city in Australia who was seen violating the mask law, and he was fined $1,100.
Yeah, and that's something for some people that's a big deal. That's a lot. That's almost your whole stimulus check there.
Yeah. Well, it's before anybody starts calling in and screaming and complaining and stuff like that. The two reasons why I don't currently wear a mask is simply I really just don't live in a lifestyle where I have contact with people. I literally am in my room or in my house nearly 24/7. I rarely go out to begin with. So my exposure is minimal at best. The second reason is my bank account was compromised last week, so everything's locked out, and so I don't even have the money to go out and buy masks, even if I did.
Yeah, well, I mean, and there's some things you can do to make one on your own, but maybe I'll send you one, Sean.
Yeah.
We got a whole production thing going here at our household.
I didn't realize that.
Not me. It's mostly my wife who it knows how to use a sewing machine a little bit more effective. I mostly just offer moral support. I'm not very good at it, so I just get told to quietly leave. But anyway, yeah. With wrapping up this point, I do want to say that like the Rochester like area police, like the Monroe County Sheriff's Office and other police departments, at least around Monroe County and I assume other counties as well, they've been really good about like understanding what situations require actual intervention. And they've said like we don't want to go and risk they don't want to risk themselves and they don't want to risk others by intervening in a situation where it's not necessary, where they can just educate and help rather than use force. They don't want to do that because again it's a risk to them and others. So they're doing a great thing, showing a lot of restraint, and that's how we should approach this issue. Help, educate, don't use force. That's what I'm advocating for. But we'll talk more about some of the other stuff going on with this right after the break. Thanks again for joining us here on Radio Free New York. We will be back in just a few minutes.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at SimpleTech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, SimpleTech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
College Assistance Plus has worked with thousands of families, saving them millions of dollars. It can be stressful choosing the right college, but we're here to help. CA Plus will guide you from college visits to college graduation and through every step in between. Each student and family situation is different, and we work to accommodate those specific needs. Call today for a free family meeting, 585-582-1846, or visit collegeassistanceplus.com for more information. College is expensive. College Assistance Plus can help.
A reminder from Abate Monroe County. American bikers aim toward education. Distracted driving is dangerous, so pull over and eat. Don't try to read your mail and newspaper, and stay off your cell phone. Make a mental note to be more alert, making it a habit to expect the unexpected. Remember to look twice. Save a life. Train yourself to watch for motorcycles which are harder to see. Join Abate, and your family will be protected with a free $4,000 accident policy. Ride safe. Ride free. Ride often. Abate. If you ride with us. Google Abate Monroe County.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
You're listening to Radio Free New York.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. I'm Kevin Wilson, your host for today here on Radio Free New York. Thank you, everyone, for listening, commenting in, participating in the discussion. Really appreciate it. I'm joined today by Sean Phelan, Agent of Chaos. And what we want to talk about for the next segment, now that we've gotten the mass discussion out of the way, is talk a little bit about going back to work and what that looks like. There's a plan that came out from the Trump administration yesterday about getting people back to work. Other states have extended their orders. New York State is now extended through May 15th. Where all non-essential businesses are shut down, and I am getting comments in here from Sean Tierney, who says my job never closed. Yep. Yeah, no, a lot of people didn't. And Carl also said the thing that, what do you mean back to work? I never stopped working. Yeah, I mean, me neither. And I'm still working because I can do my job from home. I work in digital marketing during the day. Other people, if you got a job that's considered essential, you're still showing up. But for
essential / disposable,
something like that. You got thoughts on that, Sean?
Yeah, I think that a lot of the people that they are considering essential employees are people that they actually consider expendable.
Well, why do you say that?
I mean, I was looking at the cashiers, for example, at Walmart. They don't give a damn about those cashiers, So, it took them forever to put up any kind of screening or to make people use the self-checkouts or, they just didn't really care, And, I've got friends that work at Wegmans and other places that these people are not essential personnel, but yet they're still being made to come into work.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's, I guess, a fair criticism, right? It did take them a little while to get those shields up. A lot of grocery stores took a bit to get PPE to their frontline workers. And you have to go in. I mean, because the fact of the matter is, these types of things, like grocery stores, need to stay open, right? Like people, that is
Right.
our way of distributing food. And someone needs to come in and do that, right? So I think it's fair for the workers who are at these places who have a job that keeps everything running, keeps food on our table, to want to have some protection and recognition of the essential service that they provide.
I give it up to the truck drivers that are traveling
Yeah.
all over this country, in and out of all these different states, and being in contact with all sorts of different people, and yet they're still delivering the supplies. So I give it up to the truck drivers out there.
Yeah. I mean, again, that's what keeps it's amazing how complex the food system is for being able to deliver stuff, and it's also amazing how fragile it is. And I'm hoping to have someone on Thursday of next week to talk about kind of mostly the dairy industry, but also kind of farming in general. What's happening with the food supply there? Why you're seeing farmers, dairy farmers dumping out tons of milk? What's happening on the production side and the packaging side, and what's happening on the kind of retail versus restaurant side of all that stuff too.
Right.
And we're getting a couple other comments. Non-conformance farmers is disposable, and non-conformance farmers said that it seemed like Wegmans was on top of taking care of employees. I've seen a lot of debate about that, and I don't. It seems like it's a bit of a mixed bag. I think there's some fair criticism what they're doing. In terms of having their employees be able to wear masks in the store. And then Mel's talking about, were they forced to come in? Is it forced labor? Well, no, but they, people want to be able to earn a paycheck, and
Well,
it's tough to say well, I'm gonna quit my job right now when you have few other options to work. That puts you in a tough position.
I do have to defend the Walmart workers because they say, because Mel's saying being made to come in, is it forced labor? Yeah, technically it is. If you're one of the low-skilled Walmart workers, if you say, oh, I'm sick or whatever like that, they will like terminate you like instantly just for like one illness. It's really crazy. They really, really treat their people very, very poorly in that respect. So, being that they're being paid, minimum wage or or less, whatever, but and they're really not making a lot of money to begin with. Plus, then they have to go to work because otherwise they'll lose the job. If they don't show up, if they don't show up or whatever. And yeah, that's what I mean by being forced to come into work. And yes, it is kind of a forced labor. If you want to keep your job, you better come in for your job, which makes perfect sense to us, on a normal everyday level. But we're talking about now we're under quarantine conditions. So, if I was one of the workers, if I was a cashier at Walmart and they said, look, you need to come in today because, we need you to come in, whatever you're scheduled to work. My first question is what have you done to protect me there at the register? And if they say nothing, I'm going to go, well, look, you don't value me as a worker. So I'm sorry, until you do something to protect me, I'm going to have to do what I got to do to protect myself. And if they turn around and say, well, fine, you're terminated, well, then you're terminated. And that's just that, and you have no recourse. So, yeah, it's kind of forced labor to me.
Forced labor. Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with you totally. I think there's some fair points about the level of compulsion involved. And, you sound like you're prepared to go down like, kind of a socialist rabbit hole there, which is interesting. But, I think you always have the choice to not show up. There's trade-offs, right? Like there's the choice to be able to offer to be able to take your protection into your own hands, either through wearing masks at work or not showing up and trying to find alternatives at positions where you'd be able to protect yourself better or get better pay, or organizing with your fellow workers to try to do that. And which is, I think, a fair and legitimate way to put pressure on companies to negotiate for your own labor. Because, again, labor is a product and service that you are selling, and it has a certain value, and you negotiate with employers on what that value is and how much they how much you deserve to get paid. And Mel's commenting again too with 20 million are being made not to work, which is true, which is mostly what I want to talk about. And then school is compulsion. If school's open, you break the law by not coming. That's compulsion. So Mel's talking about is there a threat of actual violence or state action for not coming in, which differentiates from just not getting paid by not coming in, right?
Well, as a former teacher, I do have to say, Mel, if you think that going to school is a compulsion and you're breaking the law by not coming, yeah, well, you ought to see it in practice because it's not.
Do you think that no one's enforcing truancy laws?
Yeah, no, you have no truancy laws up here for some reason. I have no idea what you guys do up here as far as the schooling goes. I mean, you literally have like 2 truancy officers for the entire city school district of Rochester. That's insane.
So you think more families should be subject to state action if their kids don't show up to school?
I think that there should be some parental issues there. Yeah, I think that's something else that should be going on. Whether to fine them is completely a different story. But as a former teacher, I know that there are kids that just do not come to school. And when you send notes to the parents or you try to contact the parents, there's no parent there, and that's the issue with that. But that's a whole nother socioeconomic issue going on there that we can talk about another day. But yeah, I mean, literally, I've known kids that just don't go to school. I mean, there's 180 school days that you have to attend, and I know kids that haven't shown up for 90. And nobody's coming after them. No CPS, no lawyer, no cop, nobody.
Yeah. Interesting. Sean, you and I really got to do a whole education day one day, because our discussions about this always end up being really good, and we got to check it out. But we do have to go to a break right now. Thanks again, everyone, for listening to Radio Free New York. Thank you for your comments. We're going to be back just after a few minutes.
than twice the power. More powerful FM 92.1, FM 95.5 West, and 1040 AM WYSL Avon Rochester.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center. Today, we'll start off with sunshine, then increasing cloud coverage as we move into the afternoon. Area of low pressure to our south will bring widespread snow showers, anywhere from 1 to 3 inches in the southern parts of Wyoming, Livingston, and Genesee County. Highs today will be in the upper 30s to low 40s. By tomorrow, temperatures rebound back into the 50s, a very slight chance of showers, and then it looks like sunshine throughout the day on Saturday. This is Samantha LaRocca with WYSL.
Only a fool would give up his guns and expect the government to protect him. The government can't even stop telemarketers. Let that sink in.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
FM Talk.
As the snow disappears, your lawn and all the winter debris is revealed for all the world to see. Want to save on gas and repairs and have more time with your family this summer? Let Cook's Landscaping and Lawn Mowing take over. Instead of servicing, maintaining, and replacing lawn mowers, string trimmers, and tools, Cook's saves you time and money by mowing your lawn automatically whenever it needs it. Pruning, trimming, and mulching, whatever is needed. Need more extensive landscaping? Cook's does it all. From lawn installation for those new homes to plantings and design. Cook's also does paver patios, walkways, retaining walls, and creative entryways. Also featuring natural rock and fieldstone to welcome visitors to your home or business. Water garden installation too. Don't spend those precious sunny days riding around on a lawn tractor or horsing around with a hedge trimmer. Call Cook's Lawn Mowing and Landscaping and reclaim the nice weather for you and your family. It's affordable and easy. No obligation free estimates from locally owned Cook's Lawn Mowing and Landscaping. 329-8175. 329-8175.
Can you hear that? No, in your mind. Can you hear the sound of your cheeseburger as it hits the grill?
Tom Wall's team member Camden Arlucas talks imagination.
Do you see the melted cheese drip down on the plate as you take your first bite? That, right there, the snap that a crispy hot French fry makes as you bite into it. I want to cook you the award-winning, hottest, juiciest Tom Wall's cheeseburger you've ever had.
Share the good times. Tom Walls.
Tom Walls is open for takeout.
The Livingston County Department of Health needs volunteers for the Medical Reserve Corps. If you're an active or retired licensed healthcare professional or just a community member who wants to help, we need you. Put your skill and energy to work improving emergency response. Free education and training provided. Work with peers in critical settings. Make a difference in your community. Google the Livingston County Department of Health and email us, including MRC in the subject line, or call 243-7524.
Avon Gun and Hunting Supply reminds you to keep safe. Avon Gun is open for sales and repairs by appointment only. Call 226-8277. That's 226-8277. Avon Gun, East Main Street, next to the Bank of Castile.
You're listening to Radio Free New York.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to Radio Free New York. Thanks for listening today, whether you're listening again on WYSL, WACK, or The Patriot down in Elmira. We appreciate you tuning in today and participating in the conversation, and of course, all of you participating online as well. And that's The Patriot, 12:30 a.m., 1450 a.m., and 106.9 FM. We're so glad that you guys are carrying our show. Love it. And so Online, we're getting a couple other questions. Or questions and comments. Greg, who's saying, all you people that would prefer not to go back to work, try being a farmer. You know, funny, Greg, my first thought on that was like, well, I think zoning codes prevent you from starting a farm in your yard. But, so, I mean, that's my first thought. I guess you could go work on a farm somewhere else. That's always an option. It's essential work, and, you know, you're probably spread out depending on what type of work you're doing on a farm. But
I hear you can have goats in the city limits.
yeah, you can. I think you have to get a variance for that, but I've seen one of my neighbors has a pig. And you can get chickens very easily in the city, actually. It's basically everything has to be approved by the chief of police, but you can get a lot of chickens without getting a full variance. So a lot of people do. And then we got another comment from a nonconformist farmer that says, how do right to work laws affect quarantine rules and regulations? And, you know, to be honest, I'm not quite sure. New York is not a right to work state. Right to work, for those of you who aren't familiar, basically means that you can't be forced to join a union when you are employed by someone. So say you want to go work for GM or whatever. If you're in a right to work state, you can't be forced to join that union as a condition of employment. But in other states, the unions have arrangements with employers where anyone they hire has to become a member of that union or already be a member of that union. So, you know, I don't know how it affects things in New York State. A lot of the frontline workers for like Wegmans and other like supermarket chains aren't necessarily unionized. I think Tops is really the only one. So, you know, to be honest, I don't know. It's something interesting to look into, and, you know, we'll check it out, and maybe we'll do another show on that in the future. Sean, thoughts?
That's a great idea, because I'm just not educated enough to have a good educated opinion on this.
Yeah. So we'll figure it out.
As far as I knew, I thought New York was a right to work state, but
No, it's not. It's mostly has to do with unions. You were talking about this over the break. I think you're thinking of like at will employment, which is where you basically don't have a contract and you can be let go from a position without cause. So I think that might have been what you're thinking, which is legal in New York State, and in fact most employers do that. Most employees don't have any formal contract where they're working. They just it's at will employment, so you can be let go with or without cause for whatever reason whenever they feel like. So that's it's just how it goes.
So that's one thing I've always had a problem with. There's just not telling people, not disclosing the reason why you're being terminated. That I've always had a problem with.
Yeah, that could be very frustrating to be on.
Yeah, because there's no personal growth. You can't like go, oh, I screwed that up. Oh, okay, well then I need to not do that in my next job.
Yeah, right. No, totally understandable. And we got a comment. They were thinking of at will work too. So yeah, I mean that's another thing is, you know, part of it is if you. I don't know what protections have changed. Again, I don't know enough about this right now. New York allows at-will employment. I think that if you say you're going to refuse to show up to work, I don't know what protections you have right now if you say you want to refuse to show up to work for health reasons. So I think it might depend on the employer, and I don't know enough about the law to comment on it. You know, Sean and I try to keep it no more than 50% BSing on this show. We try to mostly know what we're talking about.
I usually don't open my mouth unless I'm 90% or better.
That's probably a good plan. No, for all of us, not just you specifically.
It should be 95 for me, but.
And so one of the other things I want to talk about though is I read this interesting article in Cato the other day that says even if the government were to open up, like let's say that everything opened up May 1st, we're all, you know, all the governments lift all restrictions on being able to operate non-essential, quote unquote, non-essential businesses. Would people go back to work anyway? And their argument is essentially that no, they probably wouldn't. You know, I don't know that my articles are posting when I'm trying to comment to you guys online, but anyway, I'll try to get that in later. The
Cato article that you had kind of was stating that that Trump never really declared a closure of anything. It was the governors that decided this, and that basically they did that after the people kind of already started to do it. Like, people were not making reservations for restaurants as much, or hotels, or travel plans were being canceled. You know, and there was a number of things that people already, as a society, was doing that the governors just kind of,
they
put the cherry on
suit.
top. You know.
Yeah, you know, it's like politics was kind of a lagging indicator of what behavior people were doing anyway. So, like, this was kind of written before Donald Trump had put out his plan for reopening the economy. For a while, he said he had total authority and he would decide when states were opening up. The states were like, no, you don't. But the thing is, you know, this goes over like, okay, you know, in March when South by Southwest was canceled, when the Ivy League canceled its stuff, when March Madness decided that it was going to play without fans, and then a day later just
which is the only good thing I think that's come from this.
March Madness not being there?
Oh, thank God I don't have basketball just like thrown in my face every 2 seconds.
You're opposed to basketball?
Oh, basketball's one of
Why?
the worst sports ever. Don't get me started.
All right. Well, you know, I'm not gonna get you started. I would say, you know, I have no issue with basketball. It's fine. I'm not a fan, to be honest. Like, not that I dislike basketball. I just don't follow it that closely. I don't know. I'm more of a football guy. I'll follow that a bit closer. You know, and I'm not interested in baseball at all. I'll watch basketball games. Baseball, I will only watch them if I'm going in person.
I am bummed that the college lacrosse got canceled.
Yeah, so everything's canceled. But the point is that most places were doing this even before the governors and the mayors and the county executives. All these people had started shutting down the states and the counties and the cities themselves. That people are already starting to get the information. I mean, for goodness sakes, Disneyland shut down, or Disney World shut down. Well, I think both did, actually.
Yeah,
they decided it wasn't
down.
worth the risk. I mean, man, if they're not going to make money, like, what the heck? But they also showed that like individual foot traffic, it wasn't just businesses making decisions. They have this there's this chart from OpenTable that shows like foot traffic from businesses drops like, you know, 1 to 2 weeks before the restaurants had actually been ordered closed anyway.
Right.
So they were, people were already responding to and acting appropriately to conditions on the ground. So that begs the question again: is even if, you know, government says, okay, everyone can be open for business, what's the economy going to look like? And, you know, I think it's a fair question to ask. You know, like, are we going to even come back to a normal if after May 15th in New York State, people can go back to work? Are people going to do that? Or is there going to be government incentives? And I think that's the big thing. I asked the question, you know, would you go back to work? And I think for a lot of us, it's like, well, shoot, we need a paycheck, right? But if there's still government incentives to not go back to work, like, what does that look like too? If the government's like, well, we want to keep as many people home as possible, so you keep doing that thing, you stay home.
I'm more concerned about the 420 celebration that happens every year, because a gathering of people like that is illegal. But then again, they've been doing it illegally for years. So,
squirrel. It's 420 all month, Sean. So, you know,
well,
people
no,
are gonna
3 more days, man.
I know. Well, it's 420 all month. But I know that April 20th is in a few days. I know that's what people are going to do, and people are going to do what they're going to do. Maybe they'll do it, but they'll stand further apart from each other.
I know, right?
You know, and I think
a frisbee throws away or something.
Yeah, right. Frisbee throws away. That's a great way to put it. If you're in a hack circle, you're too close.
Yeah, if I can hack to you, you're way too close.
So anyhow, you know, I think that it's going to be interesting. I think a few businesses are going to start to operate even before. We're seeing, I think there's 7,000 complaints to the New York State attorney to complain about non-essential businesses operating. The state attorney general's office. Yep, 7,000 complaints.
How many were those received on the Gestapo app?
Oh boy. All right, Sean, we are coming up to a break, and we're coming up to the last segment. We talked about so much, and we have to come up to the last segment and talk about Fake News Friday next.
Yeah,
All right, so we'll be back with more Radio Free New York in just a few minutes.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Aircraft Environmental Systems proudly supports Radio Free New York. Rochester-based leaders in climate simulation chambers for America's R&D laboratories. We're experts in troubleshooting, calibrations, custom designs, and consulting for more than 40 years. Industry pioneers, we created the first ever fleet of temperature, humidity, and altitude test chambers available to rent coast to coast. Trained and trusted by environmental chamber manufacturers, we are ACES. Find us at acesinc.com.
The Rochester area franchise dealers are here to help their customers through these trying times. Service departments and collision centers are open. Vehicle sales are initially done remotely by telephone or electronic means until you're ready to visit the dealership and take delivery of your vehicle. Proper social distancing and cleaning protocols are followed at all dealerships. Please contact your preferred dealer to schedule sales or service appointments for a safe check-in, drop-off, or pickup process. Be safe and know the franchise dealers are here for you, Rochester.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at SimpleTech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, SimpleTech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Radio Free New York.
All right, it's Fake News Friday here on Radio Free New York. Thanks for joining us today. We appreciate you listening, and again, appreciate everyone who's been commenting in with a bunch of interesting stuff. And we got Jared on Twitter too is saying, it's supposed to be essential workers because he works at a gas station, but since demand's dead, he says he got a whopping 8 hours 2 weeks ago, 7 hours last week. Having fun to go deal with people, but not making enough to pay bills. Partial unemployment, application in, no callback. Man, the unemployment system has been a mess. I have family members who are dealing with this unemployment system too, and it's goofy. And you get they have like stupid rules where you can only apply during certain hours, and the website's been a mess. And it's one more reason not to trust the government to handle these things well. But thanks for your comment, Jared. And that's something I want to keep an eye on too. I've heard a lot of horror stories in that. We haven't done a full episode on it, but the unemployment thing and some businesses just not being busy. People haven't been showing up too, right? It's going to be down no matter what the government says. So anyway, it is Fake News Friday, though. So we always want to end the week with some fun fake news, see if we can stump each other with whether or not some of these news stories are real. Sean, do you want me to go first? Or you
Go for
you
it.
got something? All right. Okay, I got one that I ran into the other day. Did a police department, a small town police department in Maryland, remind residents to wear pants while checking the mail?
Yes, I believe that's real news.
Yep. So that is real news. So they really did put that out on their Facebook page. It says, "Please remember to put pants on before leaving the house to check your mailbox. You know who you are. This is your final warning." Now I don't know if that's a
okay.
real
I better
thing.
start listening.
Yeah, right. So Sean, they're probably talking about you too. Come on, man.
They don't see me. I stay in the house all the time. Looking up fake news.
Yeah. But it's not clear that they're actually, I'm pretty sure they're joking. It seems like they're probably just joking and having some fun with their Facebook page.
There's probably some dude that's walking out in a robe doing the full Tony Soprano thing, with the slippers and tank top, and he's probably going out there and getting his mail and his whatever, and the neighbors are like, so they keep calling it in, but the police are like, meh, we got more important things to worry about.
There have been actual calls to, I was reading another article about that, how people are calling in stuff like, oh yeah, someone's walking their dog and they're walking in a group of 4 people, and the police are like, yeah, no, we ain't gonna deal with that. It's not. But
I don't know, but these people better not come
calling
between me and my fishing. That's all I know.
No, they shouldn't. You're right. But hey, I got another one. I hate to do 2 in a row, but I have another one, and it's related to that.
Go ahead.
Walmart, the headline is, Walmart is seeing a jump in sales for tops, but a decline in sales for bottoms. That's the headline. So tops, shirts, sales are up. Bottoms, sales are down. Real news or fake news?
I'd have to say that's real, because it's Walmart.
It is in fact. So according to what I've read, Walmart is really saying that they are seeing more people who are investing more in their shirts because they're on their video conference meetings, but people are maybe caring a little bit less about getting those nice new pants.
Have you ever done like a video interview before?
Have I done a video interview? Yes.
Yeah, I done it once, and I said, you know what, I got to take advantage of this, and I did the shirt and the tie, and I was sitting there in my underwear.
Sitting there. Yeah, I mean, I know the camera's always on my top half. For all you guys watching on social media, you don't know if I'm wearing pants or not. You have no idea. If I could stand up, it'd be a surprise to you. I could be wearing no pants. I could be wearing nice pants.
You could be sitting there with a little more freedom than others.
Yeah, I could be. You have no idea. That's the beauty of being on camera in these situations instead of being in person. I could do whatever. My pants situation could be whatever it wants to be. Could be, like I said, gym shorts, sweatpants.
Keep in mind, I have no camera on.
Yeah, Sean, it's a mystery to all of us. Not just the folks listening on the radio, but it's a mystery to all of us.
Right, I'm sitting here all oiled up and covered in slices of bologna, as far as you know.
Sean, please don't ever give us that visual again. Ever. Is that even allowed on air? Come on.
No, it's illegal for me to fry the bologna first before putting it on.
Well, don't break the law. That's the important part.
Raw bologna.
Oh my God. All right, Sean. For the love of God, let's move on.
Okay, I hate to disappoint you, but I do not have a Florida man one.
What?
I have a Florida woman.
Oh, okay.
A Florida woman has been accused of leaving pornography-filled plastic Easter eggs in people's mailboxes, claiming it was research.
Research, huh?
True or false?
Fake news. Fake news. You just made that
It's
up.
Florida, dude. It's real. This woman was going around at night dropping Easter eggs onto people's properties so the kids could find the plastic eggs, which they would open up and find the pornography inside. and it was some kind of social Christian ethnic morality kind of experiment said she was doing, and the police were like, yeah, no.
Nope. You can go in
Not
jail
having
for
it.
that. No, that's super inappropriate. That's messed up. Don't do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
terrible.
it's libertarians. We keep getting these people going. Oh, but what about the children? And it's like, no, children. That's off limits.
Nope. Yeah, don't do that.
They do not have the same rights. No,
Yeah,
they're not
it's
consenting
quite the same
adults.
thing.
No.
No one's consenting in that situation either. You're surprised. Yeah, maybe you don't want to see that. You have a right to not look at that and not be exposed to that stuff.
I think you
of your
also
own
have a right to
volition.
not have like somebody dropping them on your property,
That's what I mean.
and with the full intent of your kids finding them.
Yeah, no, that's messed up. Ah, man. See, I never know. Some of the stories coming out of Florida, man, I have no idea. They're wild. So
That's why I pick them.
all right.
I got one more.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Is there or is there not a woman out in Utah that is making masks that have little penises on them, and she's donating the proceeds of the sales to charity?
That one's real because I've seen that.
Yes, it is.
Because the way she's selling them is, if you can see what's on her mask, you are too close.
Yeah, but that's the nicest way. She didn't say it that way.
Yes, but that's the summary of what it is. So that's why she's selling them like that.
And I think it's cool that she's donating to charity. She's donating the money to the Utah Harm Reduction Coalition, which I have no clue what that fancy name is.
Yeah.
What they do.
Okay, I think we have time for maybe one more quick one.
Sure.
Is Land of Lakes removing the Native American woman from the packaging after 92 years because it's because they said it was racist?
I saw something about it, but I blew it off as fake news because I looked at the picture of the woman. I was actually shopping the other day, yesterday, and I looked at the woman on the Land O'Lakes package, and I was like, I'm really not offended by this Native American woman, kneeling there holding some butter. I don't find that offensive. However, with the liberals and the progressives out there nowadays, and the snowflakes who can't handle anything anymore, I would have to say that.
Let me cut to the chase because we got like 30 seconds left.
Okay, I would have to say it's fake news.
So it's fake news that they're removing it because of racism. Although there are many people who call the packaging racist, Land O'Lakes themselves says, no, we're switching it over to pictures of our farmers and our co-op because we just want to honor them, not because of racism. So it is sort of fake news. They are changing the packaging, but not because of racism. But we are out of time here on Radio Free New York. Thanks so much for listening. We'll be back on Monday. Talk to you then.